Russia's Air Force and Navy seem to have disappeared in Ukraine, but why? The question is a puzzling one. As we delve into the situation in Ukraine, we notice a conspicuous absence. Russia's Air Force and Navy are notably missing from the battlefield. The conflict in Ukraine has been raging for a considerable period. Yet Russia's military involvement seems to be heavily reliant on ground forces. It's an unusual strategy, particularly considering the formidable reputation of Russia's naval and aerial assets. Yet here we are, witnessing a conflict where these two powerful forces are conspicuously absent. However, this absence doesn't imply a lack of action. General Christopher Cavoli, the commander of U.S. European Command, cautioned that despite significant losses, Russia's ground forces have actually increased since the start of the conflict. The Russian military has lost 80 planes and 1 ship, yet its overall capabilities remain largely intact. But why aren't we seeing these capabilities in action? Why is it that Russia's Navy, which includes colossal warships like the Kirov-class nuclear-powered battlecruisers and the Admiral Kuznetsov aircraft carrier, are not deployed in Ukraine? These are machines of war, designed to counter formidable forces, yet they remain docked. Similarly, the Russian Air Force, renowned for its advanced technology and skilled pilots, is not soaring over Ukraine's skies. The burning question is, are they being saved for a larger conflict? Does Russia anticipate a greater war on the horizon that warrants the conservation of these forces? The situation becomes even more intriguing when we consider Ukraine's success against the Black Sea Fleet. Despite being the underdog, Ukraine has managed to deter the Russian Black Sea Fleet from its base. How were they able to achieve this feat? This leaves us with the question, what exactly is Russia's strategy here? As we explore further in the upcoming scenes, we will aim to shed light on these intriguing questions and unravel the mystery surrounding the disappearance of Russia's Air Force and Navy in Ukraine. Russia's Navy, once a formidable force, now faces significant challenges. The Russian Navy, which includes the Kirov-class nuclear-powered battlecruisers and the Admiral Kuznetsov aircraft carrier, is grappling with numerous problems that are undermining its modernization and operational effectiveness. Maintenance issues are a major concern. Picture this, a machine that's designed to be a force of nature, now reduced to a hobbled behemoth because of mechanical failures. It's like a race car with a flat tire. It may have the potential for speed, but it's not going anywhere fast. Similarly, funding problems are another thorn in the side of Russia's naval force. The lack of adequate financial resources is contributing to the slow progress of modernization efforts, and it's also affecting the operational records of these warships. These financial constraints are like a chain around the neck of the Navy, restricting its ability to operate at its full potential. Let's take a closer look at the Kirov-class battlecruisers. These ships were designed to counter NATO naval forces, but out of the 5 vessels planned, only 4 were built. Now 2 of those are being scrapped. It's like planning to build a castle, but ending up with a shack. Then there's the Admiral Kuznetsov aircraft carrier. Plagued by mechanical problems, including a deadly fire, this ship has completed only 1 combat mission in Syria. It's like a lion that's lost its roar. Despite these challenges, Russia is working on upgrading the Admiral Nakhimov and Kuznetsov with new weapon systems and technology. It's like trying to put a new engine in an old car. The hope is that it will run better, but there's no guarantee. Could these issues be the reason for Russia's naval absence in Ukraine? That's a question we'll continue to explore as we delve further into the complexities of this military conundrum. But what about Russia's Air Force? Why are they not dominating the skies above Ukraine? This has been a pressing question for military analysts worldwide. Russia's Air Force on paper is formidable. It boasts a considerable fleet of combat aircraft, including the Sukhoi Su-35 and the MiG-31, among the most advanced fighter jets in the world. The Air Force also has an array of bombers, attack helicopters, and transport aircraft. The sheer size and range of equipment at their disposal would make you think they'd have a clear advantage in the Ukrainian skies. However, the reality on the ground, or rather in the air, tells a different story. As reported by General Christopher Cavoli, commander of the U.S. European Command, Russia's Air Force has suffered significant losses in Ukraine. To be exact, 80 planes have been lost since the start of the conflict in 2022. This is a substantial hit to any military force, no matter how large or well-equipped. These losses could be attributed to a number of factors. Perhaps the Ukrainian air defenses are more robust and effective than initially anticipated, or maybe the Russian pilots are not as well trained or experienced as their counterparts. It's also possible that the aircraft themselves despite their impressive specifications, are not performing as expected in real combat situations. Another angle to consider is strategy. It's possible that Russia is deliberately holding back its air force, conserving its resources for a potentially bigger conflict down the line. After all, military strategy isn't just about what you have, but also about when and where you choose to deploy it. And let's not forget about the home front. The Russian public has been increasingly critical of the conflict, as the human and economic costs continue to mount. Every plane that goes down is another blow to the morale of the Russian people, and another reason for them to question their government's decisions. So, it seems that losses and perhaps a strategic decision could be behind the Air Force's absence. Could Russia be holding back its Air Force and Navy in preparation for a larger conflict? This is a question that has been circulating in international circles, raising both eyebrows and concerns. Let's break this down. Russia's military expansion plans for 2023 include increasing its armed forces to 1.5 million personnel. This is a significant leap, indicating an aggressive stance. While the ground forces have seen a sizable increase despite losses in Ukraine, it's the air and naval forces that have been notably restrained. Why might this be the case? One theory is that Russia is preparing for a larger, more global conflict. The world's political climate is volatile, with tensions simmering in various regions. It's plausible that Russia is conserving its air and naval power to ensure readiness for any escalation. The Russian Air Force and Navy offer strategic advantages in any conflict. Their absence in Ukraine could be a calculated move, preserving these forces for a more extensive confrontation. The Russian military has always been strategic and cunning. This could be another chess move in their larger geopolitical game. However, this theory is speculative. There's also the possibility that the restrained use of the Air Force and Navy is due to the challenges they face. As we've discussed, Russia's Navy has been plagued by maintenance issues, funding problems, and poor operational records. The Air Force, too, has faced its share of setbacks. It's a complex scenario with no clear answers. The world watches and waits, hoping for de-escalation, yet preparing for the worst. It's a delicate balance, a dance of power and strategy on the global stage. While this theory cannot be confirmed, it cannot be completely ruled out either. The uncertainty surrounding Russia's military strategy only adds to the tension as nations worldwide brace for what might come next. Meanwhile, Ukraine has had surprising success against Russia's Black Sea fleet. The Black Sea has long been a strategic location for Russia, housing their naval power. But Ukraine's resistance has been formidable, causing a noticeable shift in the tide of power. Ukraine's military, although not as large or technologically advanced as Russia's, has managed to hold its own in this conflict. They've been able to effectively defend their territory and even push back the Black Sea fleet. This is no small feat, given that this fleet is one of Russia's key naval forces. So, how has Ukraine achieved this? Primarily, through a combination of strategic planning, effective use of their resources, and the sheer determination and resilience of their military personnel. They've been able to exploit the weaknesses in Russia's naval strategy, effectively scaring away the Black Sea fleet from its base. Moreover, Ukraine has been successful in hitting Russian warships. These hits have not only dealt significant damage to the Russian Navy, but also served as a morale booster for the Ukrainian forces. Each successful strike against the Russian fleet sends a strong message: Ukraine is not a pushover, and they will defend their sovereignty with everything they have. However, it's important to note that this is not a one-sided battle. Russia's Black Sea fleet has been hampered by maintenance issues and funding problems, which have impacted its operational effectiveness. The once intimidating force is now facing setbacks, which Ukraine has been able to capitalize on. Ukraine's success against the Black Sea fleet is a testament to their resolve and strategic capabilities. It also raises questions about Russia's military strategy. Why have they not been able to effectively utilize their naval force? Are there larger strategic considerations at play here? Ukraine's success further complicates the question of Russia's strategy. In conclusion, Russia's absence of air force and navy in Ukraine raises more questions than answers. As we've dissected throughout this conversation, Russia's naval and air forces are facing numerous challenges. The once formidable Kirov-class nuclear-powered battlecruisers and the Admiral Kuznetsov aircraft carrier, designed to counter NATO naval forces, are now falling prey to maintenance issues, funding problems, and poor operational records. The Admiral Kuznetsov in particular has been plagued by mechanical problems and has completed only one combat mission in Syria. It's clear that Russia's navy is not in its prime. On the air front, despite significant losses in Ukraine, Russia's ground forces have increased in size. However, the Air Force's overall capabilities remain largely intact. The Russian military has lost 80 planes, but this hasn't seemed to substantially diminish its aerial might. It's a curious situation, to say the least. Then there's the looming question of a larger conflict. Is Russia preserving its naval and air forces for a bigger battle? With the Russian military aiming to expand its armed forces to 1.5 million personnel, it's a possibility that cannot be overlooked. Ukraine's success against the Russian Black Sea Fleet is another key point. Ukraine has managed to hold its own against Russia's naval forces, pushing them away from their Black Sea base. This is a significant achievement and highlights the tenacity and resilience of Ukraine's defense forces. So what's the strategy here? Is Russia holding back for a larger conflict? Or are they simply struggling with maintaining their military might? We may not have the definitive answers, but these are the questions that will continue to shape the future of this conflict and possibly the world's geopolitical landscape. What do you think Russia's strategy is? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.